that's what you'd like. Tony and I have the same setup for the reading of the numbers. We'll do that. And then I've got something to say at the end like I've done the last couple. And Mr. Gleason's on the line in case anybody has any questions bid-wise. I don't think there are any questions, but in case, he's there.
Ready? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is a regular meeting of the Council of the Township of Montclair. Notice of this meeting has been provided to the Montclair Times, the Herald News, and the Star Ledger. Notice has also been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jackson,
Present.
Deputy Mayor McMahon, Councilor Baskerville,
Present.
Councilor Hurlock,
Present.
Councilor Russo,
Present.
Councilor Schlager,
Here.
Councilor Spiller.
Present.
Thank you. I'm going to move around a little bit on the agenda today so we can get some things out of the way first. There have been presented to the council in minutes of March 10, 2020 and March 24, 2020. Are there additions or corrections? If not, I will move them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty.
Aye.
Any opposed?
But I can barely hear the mayor.
No, I can't hear anything. This is Robin.
Yeah, Sam's is low for me too.
Might be me again.
Hard to hear.
I will try to speak up. We have two pending ordinances for second reading. Madam Clerk, please.
Mayor, I wish to report that the ordinances have been published and posted, and copies have been made available to the public as required by law.
Thank you. The first ordinance, please.
The first ordinance is a salary ordinance for the Superior Officers Association, Local 53A, for year 2020 through year 2027.
Is anyone wishing to make any comments about this ordinance? Or is there anyone queued there, Tony, for this ordinance?
That's one person, sir.
No, I don't hear anything.
We hear each other well.
Yeah. I'm watching it on TV. I can hear you. I can't hear it.
Good evening. Caller with the number ending in 32. It's your turn to make a comment. Number 32, please. Caller ending in the number 32. Would you like to make a comment? They may just be dialing in to listen.
I will, any other callers, Mr. Fan?
No, that's it, sir.
All right, I will close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Council discussion on the ordinance? Again, I'll just comment, as I would for the next one as well, that I think it's fantastic for the township and for our employees and for management here for getting this long-term deal done. And I think will make life a lot easier for the next governing body, and actually the one after that. So congratulations to everybody involved, and for this one and the next one. Roll call?
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor-
Trouble hearing.
Councilor Russo?
I can't hear anything, but yes.
Councilor Schlager?
Yeah, okay, yes.
Councilor
I
Spiller?
can't hear.
Now we've got an echo.
Yes.
Now we've got an echo.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes.
The second ordinance is a salary ordinance for the Superior Officers Association. No, I'm sorry. The next ordinance is ordinance 2007. It's an ordinance amending salary ordinance 018-035 for management non-union group for year 2019 through year 2024.
Anyone present in the queue, Mr. Pham, for this ordinance?
I have the same person, but we'll unmute that person.
Caller with the number ending in 32, it's your turn to comment if you would like.
Cut them off, cut them off.
What is that?
Okay. I will close the public hearing, and I will move this ordinance.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mayor, can you explain, please, what this does in terms of the council appointments that we generally do on an annual basis? Or this says that 2019 to 24, so does that mean that we are agreeing to something with the council appointments? The
No.
town manager position, the town attorney, the assistant attorney, and those positions that we generally look at and have discussion on an annual basis. I'm just trying to figure out what that does when we put them in a 2019 to 2024 spot. And I'm very concerned, I guess, because we have 2 more months as a sitting council, and then after that, we're not sure where things are going. And I certainly would not want to participate in giving the council appointments to someone. So can you just explain, does that do that, or is this, what does that mean?
I'll let Mr. Stafford.
Okay.
This is no different than the last salary ordinance that you just voted on, or the PBA ordinance that you voted on, or the OPU ordinance that you voted on, or the AFSCME ordinance that you voted on. It just sets the salary guide. It has nothing to do with individuals and titles. It's just the salaries for the listed positions for the listed years.
Okay, so I understand it with the other people that you just named, the one that we did before. And I think for the council appointments, the reservation is a couple of things, but in addition to what I expressed, also the fact that, we're, going through this situation with the coronavirus, and certainly we know that it's going to have an effect on the economy, and we know that it's going to have effects with what we need to do. These positions are council appointments, which means that we may decide when we look at where we want, the budget to go, after we have to adjust things maybe because of a shift in the economy or whatever it might be there, we might look at them and decide that we don't want to keep raising those the salaries on those particular individuals that the council has an appointment on. So I'm trying to figure out, is there any reason why we would need to do that today? The other appointments are not, council appointments per se, but these are, And, you know, so I'm just wondering, is there a way that we can take those out and vote on the rest without having the council-appointed positions in there?
I defer to the attorney, but I believe the answer to be, I don't know, I defer to the attorney.
I mean, the council, if the council wants it, can change the content of the ordinance. It would have to be, would have to go back to first reading. Well, actually, if you took out certain positions, I mean, you could. I mean, mind you, as you realize that the people in the room are affected by this as well.
Well,
So,
But this is a guide. In other words, if let's say, for example, the council decided it did not want to give an increase to whomever, it's a guide, correct?
Correct.
So it's not dictatorial, that's not the right word
Okay.
to use, but in other words,
Okay.
it's a guide.
All right.
Doesn't bind a future
So
council.
Correct.
next year, or whenever the appropriate time would be, as they were, as we, or whoever's going to be here evaluates the individual positions, they might say that, you know, we're very comfortable, you know, looking at the economy where we are today, that this is more than appropriate for the time. And, okay, so that's good. Thanks, Mayor. Also, I have a question for you, Attorney Karasik. What is the, because I was trying to find out about that, and what is the law 40A:11-15? Are you familiar with that? Because they talk about the length of provisions of certain contracts, and I didn't know if these positions would fall under that says that we shouldn't, or it wouldn't come under that one?
4811 is the local public contracts law.
Mm-hmm.
And it should has, I'm sorry. I'm just, yeah, which has nothing to do with the salaries of people who are working for the municipality.
Okay,
It's
because I
strictly-
couldn't find anything on it, but, yeah, I appreciate that, and, Mr. Mayor, I certainly appreciate you helping me to better understand that. We can always decide at that time what we want to do with them. I'm good, thank you.
Any other comments, council?
Yeah, I want to ask a question, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I get an echo right back with everything I... Jeez.
Go ahead, Counselor.
Forget about it, I can't hear, I get an echo.
So what's your question? We can still hear you, we can hear you very well.
I'll try to talk, I'm talking over my own echo. All right, I just wanted to say these are great, these are contracts that are multi-year, 7. That's a great thing we've done, and I want to commend management for it. No other town has done this type of multi-year contract. It's good for stability and the continuity of our government, save taxpayers money, and it's a very, very good. I'm not saying I agree with the total, the amounts, because some people are saying to me, how's somebody making above the governor's salary? How's somebody making above $200,000 at this time? But these are just guides and range, right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies it. I can't really hear.
Roll call?
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor Russo?
Yes.
Councilor Schlager?
Yes.
Councilor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Madam Clerk, we're going to go back to the hearing on the bid. I'll give you time to get your paperwork together there.
Hello?
Okay.
We're here.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear people.
Who's that? Jason, please.
Are you guys discussing the bid budget?
We're just starting, Jason. We'll let you know if we need you.
Thank you.
This is the 2020 budget for the Montclair Center Corporation Business Improvement District. Madam Clerk?
Mayor? Mayor, this is the time fixed for the public hearing on the budget of the Montclair Center Business Improvement District for year 2020. The bid budget was introduced and approved by the governing body on March 24th, 2020, and was advertised as required by law, together with notice of the hearing at this time. A copy of the bid budget was made available to the public on the financial information page of the Township's website last week, and a copy is available online at this time on that page of the Township website for anyone desiring to view it.
Thank you. Anyone who has not seen a copy of the bid budget may view it now on the financial information page of the Township website. Before opening this hearing, I wish to outline the procedure. Each person desiring to be heard will give his or her name via phone before speaking. I will recognize one speaker at a time, or I should say the manager and Mr. Fan will recognize one speaker at a time in the telephone queue in order as nearly as we can determine. Please address all questions to the chair where necessary. Questions must be confined solely to the bid budget before us. I now open the public hearing to the 2020 Montclair Center bid budget, and the deputy clerk will now read the bid budget.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the Montclair Center bid 2020 bid budget. Revenue, total assessment, $665,760. Contributions, program service revenue, $60,000. Interest income, $250, for a total revenue of $726,010. Quality of life program, bid vehicle maintenance and expenses, $8,500. Sweeper maintenance, $5,000. Equipment, supplies, $10,000. Total quality of life, $23,500. Visual improvements program, holiday decor, $10,000. Beautification and landscaping, $15,000. Total visual improvements, $25,000. Advertising, PR marketing. Advertising and digital, $18,000. Graphic design, $7,000. Web hosting, $1,000. Total advertising, PR marketing, $26,000. Business development and retention. New business information, $1,000. Professional education and constituent support, $5,000. Total business development and retention, $6,000. Events and programs. Music programs, $14,000. Parklet program, $5,000. Operating expenses, municipal expenses, $7,500. Operating expenses, $13,750. Affiliate events, $5,000. Total events, $45,250. Office, rent is $28,200. Insurance is $20,000. Accounting, $17,000. Audit service, $8,000. Legal fees, $5,000. Phone, $5,000. Contingency and miscellaneous, $5,000. Utilities, $2,500. Conferences, meals, and meetings, $10,000. Office supplies, $5,000. Computer software, $3,000. Copying and printing, $4,700. Postage, $300. Total office, $113,700. Personnel benefits, taxes, and fringe. Ambassador program, $144,040. Executive director, $100,000. Program staff, $146,120. Incentives, $12,000. Payroll taxes and fees, $36,400. Health insurance, $18,000. Total administration, payroll, and payroll taxes, $456,560. Strategic initiatives, $10,000. Total operating expenses, $706,010. Capital reserve allocation, $20,000. Total expenses, $726,010. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak via telephone on the 2020 Montclair Center bid budget?
Good evening. Caller with the number ending in 32. It is your turn to make a comment if you would like. 32, please. Caller with the number ending in 55. If you would like to make a comment, it is your turn. Number 55, please.
Yes, this is a Hurlock.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. We are in the middle of the public hearing on the Montclair Center Corporation Business Improvement District 2020 budget. If you'd like to make a public comment on that, you're welcome to do so at this time. Ma'am?
My public comment is just to make sure that you all know that we look forward to you, council, defending our rent control ordinance and its upcoming implementation.
We're only dealing with the Montclair Center bid budget. This is not public. This is not public comment at the moment. This is only the bid budget. It's a separate item.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is all the folks in the queue, Mayor.
Thank you. Seeing that all who wish to speak on the budget have done so, I will now entertain a motion to close the hearing. Councilor Hurlock.
So moved.
Councilor Schlager.
I second the motion. I second the motion.
Thank you. Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor Russo? Councilor Russo?
Yes.
Councilor Schlager?
Yes.
Councilor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. The public hearing is now closed.
Mayor, I request that the deputy clerk be instructed to read the resolution to adopt the bid budget.
Thank you. The deputy clerk will read the resolution.
Be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Montclair, County of Essex, that the budget hereinbefore set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated in the sums therein set forth as appropriations and authorization of the amount of $726,010 for 2020 Montclair Center Corporation bid budget.
Councilor Russo.
Yes.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I offer the
Oh, no, I
foregoing,
offer the foregoing resolution and move its adoption.
I second the motion.
Are there any members of the council who wish to comment on the resolution?
Mayor, I call for a vote on this resolution.
Thank you. Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor Russo?
Yes.
Councilor Schlager? Councilor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Thank you, and congratulations to the bid.
Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it.
Yeah, congratulations, Jason.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, we're going to move to public comment. In an effort to minimize exposure to COVID-19 and to maintain social distancing practices, this meeting of the Town Council and further meetings until the pandemic is over will only be available to the public remotely. Comments from the public during this public comment session, as well as later in the meeting during the public hearings, which we've already done, will all be done remotely. Those who wish to participate now during public comment should dial into 425-535-9484. Participants will be put in a queue. The administrator will notify callers when it is their turn to speak by saying the last 2 digits of their phone numbers, which will be displayed in our system. For example, a caller with the phone number 973-444-5555 will hear the administrator say, "Number 55, it is your turn to speak." The caller will then hear the word unmute and will be offered the opportunity to make his or her comment. All comments will be kept to 3 minutes, maintained here, and I will apologize in advance to those who get cut off at the 3-minute mark. We're going to try to maintain that so we can allow everyone to speak. Again, I apologize in advance if you should happen to get cut off.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mayor. Good evening. Caller with the number ending in 32. It is your turn to make a public comment if you would like. Caller with the number ending in 55. It is your turn to make a public comment if you would like. Number 55.
I think it's Jason.
I think that was the...
Yes, so it seems I'm up again.
Yes, ma'am, it's your turn.
This is Ahava. Yes, for public comment.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, on behalf of the tenants organization of Montclair, I just want to make sure you all know that we look forward to you defending our rent control ordinance and its upcoming implementation. Lord, you defending. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller with the number ending in 15. It is your turn to make a comment. Number 15, please. Caller with the number ending in 15. It is your turn to make a comment. Number 15, please.
Hi.
Caller with the number ending in... Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Caller with the number ending in 17. It is your turn to make a comment if you would like. Number 17, please.
Montclair. I wanted to talk about the fact
We have to do
that
something.
was granted by court yesterday, and be pursuing strategies to deal with the rental ordinance that we passed at the last meeting, but we do regrettably, and it has been avoided so simply We think that validated public dialogue.
Sir, would you
The
do
fact
us,
that the first reading.
sir, would you do us the service of hanging up and calling back in? We are unable to hear you. You're coming in and out. I think it's a bad connection. We will keep the queue open for you to call back in, please.
I think someone was coughing as well.
Caller with the number ending in 15, it's your turn to make a comment. Number 15.
Hi, this is Tony Martin. I'm also with the Tenants Organization of Montclair. I wanted to reiterate what the President, Ahava, has just said to you about thanking you profusely for your passage of the ordinance and anticipating with great fervor your defense of this ordinance as the interests who showed up at the last minute to oppose it move forward with a court challenge. The other thing I wanted to say was that we have approached I know that the members of the clergy and the NAAC have approached you with the idea of a rent freeze during this period of rent increase freeze during this period of COVID disaster for all of us. And I hope that you will bring that to the table tonight and talk about it a little bit. We still have, severe problems for tenants that existed before the rent control ordinance debate began a year ago, and that continue to worsen during this time of distress for all of us. Thank you very much for listening, and good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
you.
That appears to be all, Mayor.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Items 1 through 5 are on the consent agenda. Does anyone have a reason to remove any of these items from the consent agenda? Seeing no one, I will move the consent agenda items 1 through 5. I'm sorry, 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor Russo?
Yes.
Councilor Schlager?
Yes.
Councilor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. And I would just note for the record that Resolution 20-072, which is awarding a contract for Tourist Park improvements, was adopted at our last meeting on April 7th, 2020. Item 6 is a resolution approving the Board of School estimate budget, and I will so move.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor Russo?
Yes.
Councilor
Yes.
Schlager?
Yes.
Councilor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Councilor Slager, bill resolution, please.
Yes, thank you. Whereas invoice in favor of the following persons for the amount being received, duly audited, and filed by the Council of the Township of Montclair. Said invoices being they are drawn by the Finance Department, order such persons
The hereinafter stated on the computer made a part hereof. April 21st, 2020, amount of $84.
I'm going to,
31 cents. So move. I can't hear anything. I'm sorry.
okay, well, I'm
So move.
just gonna reread that because I don't think it came over clearly. It may not, this is the bill list resolution. Whereas invoices against the Township of Montclair in favor of the following persons for the amount set opposite their respective names have been received, duly audited, and found correct. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Township of Montclair in the County of Essex that said invoices be and they are hereby ordered paid, and that checks be drawn by the Finance Department to the order of such persons for the amounts respectively and hereinafter stated on the computer printout attached hereto and made a part hereof. The bill list is dated April 21, 2020, in the amount of $5,784,484.41. Councilor Schlager moved it. Was there a second?
Second?
Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Councilor Baskerville?
Yes.
Councilor Hurlock?
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Yes.
Councilor Russo?
Yes.
Councilor Schlager?
Yes.
Councilor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Go to comments by staff. Mr. Scantlebury?
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Karasik?
Nothing, Mayor.
Deputy Clerk?
Nothing at this.
Okay. Mr. Stafford?
Thank you, Mayor. I am sad to have to relay that the most recent official reports include that the confirmed number of COVID-19 cases in our township is 310, and that number includes 28 individuals who did not survive the illness. It is expected that these numbers will increase as more testing is completed. Therefore, we must, as a community, continue to do everything that we can to try to control community spread. Trips from home allowed by Governor Murphy's executive orders must comply with the directives therein, and when in public, individuals must practice social distancing. This, per the CDC, means keeping space between yourself and other people outside of your home at all times. This means staying at least 6 feet apart from other people, not gathering in groups, and staying out of crowded places. Follow CDC guidelines by washing your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after you've been in a public place or after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. Also, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands, and avoid close contact with people who are sick. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces daily. For COVID-19 related information from the state, visit the state's one-stop shop COVID-19 information hub at covid19.nj.gov. I'd like to again point specifically that within the state's COVID-19 information hub is its jobs and hiring portal. As of this afternoon, 66,466. That's 66,466 jobs with over 743 different companies were posted. And one seeking employment can search for jobs by industry, by location, and using other filters. General questions about COVID-19 may be posed by calling the state's Comprehensive Information and Referral Service by dialing 211. Medical questions about COVID-19, not otherwise made to your physician, may be posed by calling the state's information line at 800-962-1253. These numbers are staffed 24/7. New Jerseyans feeling the emotional and mental toll of COVID-19 can get support from a special helpline. New Jersey Mental Health Cares, the state's behavioral health information and referral service, is offering to help to people dealing with anxiety and worry related to COVID-19. New Jerseyans can call 866-202-HELP. That's 866-202-4357 for free confidential support. And this line will be staffed from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week by live trained specialists. For COVID-19 related information from our township, please visit our township's website COVID-19 section for updates on township operations during the crisis. If you haven't yet signed up for the township's Swift 911 alert system, you are urged to do so now to receive township updates by blast. The sign-up form can be accessed from our website's homepage. And of course, you can follow the township's Facebook page, Montclair NJ USA, and the township Twitter feed at Montclair NJ Gov. Per Governor Murphy's Executive Order Number 105, all New Jersey elections that take place on May 12, including our township's May 12 municipal election, will be conducted by vote-by-mail ballot only. All registered voters will be mailed a vote-by-mail ballot by the Essex County Clerk's Office. On a conference call this morning, Essex County Clerk Christopher Durkin advised that vote-by-mail ballots will be mailed to Montclair voters tomorrow, April 22. If one does not receive a ballot in the mail, one can request a replacement second ballot by visiting the Essex County Clerk's website at essexclerk.com and then by completing and submitting the necessary form found there. Questions can be directed to the Essex County Clerk at 973-621-4921 or by emailing info@essexclerk.com. By order of the New Jersey State Supreme Court, all municipal court sessions statewide continue to be suspended through April 26. During this time period, certain emergent municipal court matters will continue to be handled by municipal courts, consistent with the Chief Justice's order of March 14, and our municipal court personnel is accepting telephone calls for inquiries. Until further notice, all township public meetings will be conducted remotely. Instructions on how the public can participate in individual meetings will be provided on our website on each public body's page. It is very important to note that until further notice, all township parks and playgrounds continue to be closed. All township fields, sports and recreation courts and facilities, and all walking paths continue to be closed as well. And this includes all school and Board of Education facilities. It is critically important that people follow the rules regarding facility closures in order to slow the spread of COVID-19. The United States Treasury Department and Internal Revenue Service extended the deadline for filing individual tax returns for 2019 from April 15 to July 15. More information can be found by clicking irs.gov. Likewise, Governor Murphy signed into law the COVID-19 Fiscal Mitigation Act that automatically extended the filing deadline to July 15 for certain state income tax payers to file and make payments that were originally due on April 15. More information can be found by clicking state.nj.us/treasury. Municipal property tax deadlines are set by state statute, and municipal governments are not empowered to change them. The last government guidance received from the state does not indicate that there will be an extension to the tax payment due date or to the statutory grace period for second quarter property tax payments. The current grace period stands at 10 days, so therefore, second quarter tax payments are due on May 1, and the grace period for payments without interest penalty would end on Monday, May 11, given that the 10th day, May 10th, falls on a Sunday. Online transaction fees for tax, water, and sewer payments continue to be waived. The township will credit all bill payment transaction fees on future bills, including credit card and electronic check payments for property tax and utility bills paid online. Our Montclair Township Animal Shelter continues to perform its critical work. Shelter personnel urges that no one abandon a pet. If you know of someone with a true emergent need regarding surrendering a pet, please have them call the shelter at 973-744-8600 and leave a message. A staff member will return the call as soon as practical to discuss the situation and gather relevant information in an effort to assist with placement of the pet in an appropriate home. Sadly, the following events have been canceled. The Repair Cafe, scheduled for April 25th, and the Montclair Recreation Department and YMCA of Montclair 10K 2-mile walk run scheduled for June 7. Spaces are still available in nearly all Montclair Institute for Lifelong Learning classes being offered remotely by Zoom. You can register by clicking www.lifelongmontclair.org/mill. It is very important for all to complete their Census 2020 forms. The results of the 2020 census will help determine how hundreds of billions of dollars in federal funding flow into communities like our township for the next decade. Responding is safe, quick, and important, and a response can be made by phone, by mail, or online. And more information can be found by clicking 2020census.gov. Lastly, Mayor, I would like to take a brief moment to offer a sincere thank you and to express my gratitude to all of our township public health staff, Department of Community Services personnel, as well as our public safety, information technology, Department of Utilities, Office of Emergency Management, and all other township personnel who have been selflessly working around the clock to keep us safe, connected, and informed. I am grateful for our personnel and for their efforts. I am appreciative of their dedication. I continue to be a proud member on their team.
Thank you, Mr. Stafford.
Here, here.
Very informative. Council comments. I start out with, let's see, Councilor Hurlock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to wish everyone well and be safe and follow the guidelines as Mr. Stafford just articulated so well. Thank you, Mr. Stafford.
Thank you. Councilor Schlager.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Councilor Spiller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just reiterate what Mr. Stafford said and what Councilman Hurlock noted. Certainly a time that we're all trying to work through this together. As we're hearing from the governor and others, hopefully we see the curve flattening as they note, and we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel on the other side of this. But given the testing situation, given the situation where we don't have a vaccine yet, given a number of factors, certainly we all know that the challenging times remain ahead of us. Certainly to all of our small businesses, our nonprofit organizations, so many of the others in town who have faced challenges, the individuals who have lost jobs or are underemployed, to all those individuals, know that we are working as best we can to make sure we connect and bring home those resources from the federal level through our congresspeople, Donald Payne and Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, to make sure that those resources are here and available to us. We continue to press them to make sure additional dollars come through. We know there will be challenges for the municipality, both on our side and the school side in terms of state funding, given revenue shortages likely in the future. We remain committed to making sure that we fill those through the great work of our Finance Committee and the great work of putting us in a great financial situation, at least to this point, and moving forward, we hope, so that we can help meet those demands and those needs and gap those shortfalls. So a lot of work that still has to be done ahead of us, but first and foremost right now, it's about that health and human safety. That's everyone's primary concern, and we have to remain focused on that. Be mindful of your mental health. These are challenging times, and the stress weighs on everyone, on all of us. So keep a lookout for your friends, your neighbors, your family, and know that we're all going to be in this together on the other side, and we're going to make sure that we come back stronger than before. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Baskerville.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'd just like to say I certainly agree with everything that Councilman Spiller just said and the manager. But in addition to those things that they said, I'd also like to express a note of appreciation to all of our faith leaders in the Township of Montclair and beyond who are helping us to move through a lot of loss in the Township of Montclair. And while we often recognize the first responders and nurses, the doctors, and those people, and certainly I, as a physician, know the time and the commitment and what it is to volunteer and put yourself on the front line in such times as these, but often overlooked are our faith leaders. And I just want to send out a note of appreciation and gratitude to our faith leaders who, in such a time as this, sometimes they're dealing with as many funerals every day. And certainly that is no easy task, and so I'd just like to celebrate you all and let you know how valued you are and how much we appreciate, what you're doing, and we recognize that that's not easy. And also the morticians in the township who are putting themselves on the front line and also often not included when people are giving the rundown of all the people that are working collaboratively just to help us deal with the everyday complications from the coronavirus. So to the morticians, we recognize that you are on the front line. We recognize that when you are in that position, you certainly are risking your life, and we'd like to let you know that we appreciate you. Also, I'd like to recognize that mortician and funeral director Ricky Williams at the Martin's Funeral Home here in Montclair was on the OWN network talking about the difficulty there. They had a panel of women, and they were talking about their services as we try to navigate our way through the coronavirus. And so I'd like to also acknowledge her, and you're looking good, sister, on that program. And in closing, I'd just like to say that while I was not able to participate in what I heard was an amazing, the Yom HaShoah Holocaust Memorial Remembrance Service yesterday, because I had a conflict of interest, I was definitely there in spirit. And someone was kind enough to send me some of the remarks from the service. And so I'd like to thank the Reverend Anya from the UU and all of the clergy that participated in what by many people's account was an incredible service. And I'd like to thank Wendy McNeil for sharing this with me. She said during that service that someone expressed the words of, and if I pronounce this wrong, I apologize. I'm going to pronounce the person's name as Yom HaShoah. No, his name is, where is his name? Bauer, Yehuda Bauer, and he's an Israeli historian of the Holocaust. And this is what he had to say. It resonated with me, and I want to share it with you. And his words are, "Thou shalt not be a victim, thou shalt not be a perpetrator, but above all, thou shalt not be a bystander." And I thought that really summed up a lot. And during this time where we are beginning the voting process, starting tomorrow through the 12th of May, we don't need bystanders. I want to encourage you all to get out and vote. I don't know if you can see my T-shirt. This was made by Deputy Mayor Catherine Weller, and it says, "I vote," and I'm going to encourage all of you to make sure, please, to mail in your ballots. Hopefully they will get to your house tomorrow, and you have up until the 12th to take time and be very thoughtful and reflect on what you know. Oftentimes, during times of elections, people come out with a lot. They tell you a lot of things, and as a rule, it's probably best to disregard much of what you hear during campaign season and look back over the years. If people have been providing service, look at what you saw and remember those things, because those are most important, and the behaviors of the past, if people have served, are pretty much a good standard for which you should judge and make your decisions. So I thank you all for getting out to vote.
Thank you. Councilor Russo?
Yes, Mayor, I just want to express my appreciation to all of you and all the residents who sent me wishes for my mom. So we just had our funeral last week. We want to thank Kajana Funeral Home for doing the best. The restrictions are so great that no one could visit, no one could come and celebrate Florence Russo's life, but we're all appreciative of our family for what everyone did. Now I want to also thank two groups, those who do particularly our community services work, which is Besides our healthcare workers, it's those who get rid of the refuse and recycling that we put out. I watch from my window often that the staff is out there in the morning, in the cold, in the rain, collecting everything on time, just the way we always did to keep our community safe and healthy during this terrible crisis. And I want to thank the teachers. Now, I do it at Montclair State on Zoom, but teachers all through our school system, the MEA members, my AFT members at Montclair State, we're all working from home. Had a great class today with my 30 students, but this is a terrible, terrible time to try to teach and to do all the work we often do that we take for granted. I want to thank all those in the education community for keeping up with our schools and teaching our children. Thank you all. Let's get through this together and let's all work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Deputy Mayor McMahon?
Thank you, Mayor. In this unusual time, the Montclair Ambulance Unit and Tony's Kitchen are working triple time, quadruple time, I don't know. They need your support, so I recommend you do your best in any way you can. On a lighter note, I'd like to note that it is the first meeting of 2020 where it's still light out as we adjourn, so I like that. So stay safe, be smart, this too shall pass. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to echo what some of my colleagues said about the performance of town services, not skipping a beat in this environment. I think it's a real tribute to our team, and I just really want to commend them for that. Any other comments before we move on? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Have a good evening.
Aye.
Thank you all.
All right.
Hey, Rich.
Stay safe.